Tell if it's filming or not. It's showing you there, but I can't see if there's a red dot. This normally flashes when it's filming.
Yeah, the time's going on, bud.
Is it?
19, 20, 21, 22.
Oh yeah, it must be working. Alright, we're back. Let's get the tools of the trade. Time for another conspiracy barber. It's not Zaphod Beeblebrox or his cousin Benny. I was reading the other day in a magazine how they took frog eggs and zapped them with an electric current and turned the frogs into salamanders. And they took chicken eggs and zapped them with a frequency, and some 70 or 80% of the hatchlings were 50-50 duck, 50% chicken. So they did, just through a certain frequency being zapped at them. So if a frequency can totally change, one species to another, it's not a far leap of the imagination to think that frequencies might open up parts of the brain that might be dormant, or frequencies could unlock areas of the 90% we don't use and make it usable, or perhaps frequencies could switch on some of these junk genes, some 223 junk genes that we have. Maybe frequencies could cure health ailments. Just know the frequency, you zap your body at that frequency, it's harmless to you, but very detrimental to whatever the problem is. And you're hitting it with a frequency that's anti-it, so basically it can't survive. So if they can change eggs from one species so that the eggs are born of a new species, but all they've done is put an electric current into the egg, I think that what's likely to happen in 2012 in December would likely be about frequencies coming through the cosmos and switching us on, which might be what the Mayans and everybody else in the ancient world knew was going to happen at this time, because they all say it's going to be a time of enlightenment. Well, the only way we're going to get enlightened is to mentally wake up, and at the moment with the fluoride and everything else that's going on, there's little chance of that. So, if you were going to put chemtrails in the sky and stop the cosmic frequencies from coming through, you would still be able to control the masses very easily, because they'd still be dumbed down. All these different things wouldn't be switched on. So it's basically the potential to switch on has got to be absolutely annihilated, and they do that through prescription poisons, fluoride in the water, chemtrails in the sky. Imagine putting up a giant barrier of reflectors in the atmosphere that stops the new frequencies coming through. Instead, it distorts them all and sends them all over the place and rebounds them back into space. We don't get the benefit of any consciousness, evolution. So most evolutions of consciousness have either come about through the use of psychedelic plants and herbs, or some sort of cosmic influence. So they're the two greatest influences on human evolution, through the brain, the body. The whole concept of life has changed every single time there's some sort of consciousness evolution. So we've got to work out what evolves our consciousness the most. And they've proven that the use of hallucinogenic plants, as shamans and cultures have done since time began, was the creator of the biggest evolutionary leaps in human history. And I believe that the sunscreen operation that's been going on for 10 years, dumping 10 million tonnes of it a year into the atmosphere, is all part of the dumbing down of the population, as is with fluoride and the onslaught of prescription drugs for everything known to man. Well, I've got the officialdom aversion syndrome, and there's no drugs exist to treat it. But I'm sure if the psychiatrist got onto it, that it was a legitimate, rampant problem affecting a lot of people, including myself, that they'd come up with a pill to cure it, or at least treat it, which would be a total hoax. All they do is cut the bullshit, and then you don't have the aversion. So I think in December 21st, a great possibility of what might happen is that at the end of the main calendar and the start of the golden age, the end of the iron age, I think there's going to be some sort of cosmic frequencies coming through the atmosphere created by the alignment Mercury, Pluto, Mars, the Moon, the Sun and the Earth, which only happens like every 26,000 years. So those in control of the planet today, they don't want anyone waking up. And it's obvious because of how they treat the planet. Everything's dumbed down, the news is highly filtered, so you never wake up to what's really going on. So if they can keep the planet asleep, they keep control. People wake up, they lose control because they're a minority. The minority can only control the majority while the majority's asleep. That's the case today. Everyone's worried about Brad and Ange, you know, they're wearing the right fashions, got the right haircut. So we've just seen at the right places, and it's all a con. So you've got to break free of the system. You have to be part of the system or you won't be able to exist, but you've got to break free of the traps and don't become imprisoned in the system. Be a visitor to it, but don't become trapped in there. So when December comes around, look up in the sky, see how many chemtrails they're pouring out. I reckon around December, probably 15 to 20, the sky is going to be just covered in it. If that's the case, you'll know why. Again, another possibility is solar flares. Such intense bursts of radiation comes mutations. And there's many scientists that believe that mutations are the way forward to evolution. So whenever there's great outbursts, and they can look through history at graphs of when the biggest solar flares were, and then they find out what the next year later, that's when the wheel was invented, and that's when Michelangelo did whatever, and that's when Napoleon conquered Russia. All these great events in our history all happen at major solar flare events. So it's more than coincidence that great things can happen during major frequency upheavals. We only, on a frequency range this wide, we only see this much. All the rest we're blind to. Especially that top. So that's what I reckon's happening. There's a conspiracy out there to block frequencies from coming through to stop a consciousness evolution. And the mass fluoridation of the planet is part of it. Vaccines are part of it. And it's all happening right now. It's not, oh, that won't happen in the future. It's happening now. There's no escaping it. You're just going to protect yourself from it. It's like bugs. It's everywhere. So it seems as though everything's directed at destroying your immune system and shutting down your brain, especially the pineal gland. That's your spiritual connection. They want to amputate you from your soul through chemicalisation, like a lobotomy from your soul. So you can be a willing participant, or you can go, oh, that doesn't sound like anything I want. I want my soul to be protected so it can come back again. Not trapped on some hyper-dimensional level by the fluoridators. So the decision's yours. Risk Alzheimer's and having a nurse wiping your ass in 20 years' time in a nursing home, or risk having a memory and freedom and everything else that goes with it. Say no to artificial sweeteners, fluoride, chemtrails. We don't need them. No one asked your permission to get them. You've been poisoned by them, have you got a say in it or not? They're affecting your life every single day. All you need to do is complain to your politicians, who will ignore you and they'll say it doesn't exist. Which should even ring more alarm bells for you to investigate further. Trim. Bit of a bum fluff shave. So all he needs to do is shave his face and he'll have his matching with his haircut. There you have another Conspiracy Barber episode with Garth, a regular conspirator and customer. That's all for now, folks.
Sweet.